What's up, y'all? It's your girl Roxy with Roxy Says, and we're gonna talk about it today. We are reviewing Love is Blind DC Season 7, Episode 8. I see why y'all wanted me to get to this. I got to it, and we're gonna talk about it. First off, let's get this out the way, okay? I broke a nail taking notes for this episode. Hit subscribe. Hit subscribe, okay? Thank you. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you're made aware every time I post a new video. Anything else that I have to say? Anything else? Netflix. I want my money back. The same way Monica got her money back from Steven, we gonna get to that. I want my money back for this season. I think that we are entitled to some financial compensation for this season, because what is this? What is this? Let me know down below when y'all want to start the class action lawsuit, okay? Let's get this started, okay? So the weddings are in 10 days, and we see the couples preparing. We see Steven take Monica to a little flower press shop, and I'm like, you mean production told Steven to take Monica to a little flower press shop? Okay. And you know, Monica is so excited. Oh my God, flowers. And Steven is in his confessional saying, you know, I couldn't just give her flowers. I had to put a little oomph on it because she's been asking so much. And he says, these are better because these will last forever. Like their love. Child, so they do their little flower arrangement and they're both cute, but Monica needs to know if the lady thinks that hers looks better than Steven's. Monica. And she is definitely disappointed when the lady pretty much says that she likes Steven's more.
I think that mine's prettier.
You know what? You're right.
Thank you.
You're right.
Then we get a confessional that gives us some insight into what Steven has on the brain all the time.
Flowers are nice, yes, but if I do this, I'm gonna get laid. Cool. You know, and that is a great perk. I mean, let's be honest, you know.
And we did get a little glimpse of that in the last episode, but we really get it now. So we learned that Monica's dad does not want to be on camera for this mess, okay, but he says that he fully supports her. He just has some questions, as any loving father would. And Monica says that her dad be on the phone asking her, how do you know that this man isn't a liar, like your ex was? And at that, Steven is like, me, a liar? Where did you get a crazy idea like that? Child, next we see Nick and Hannah, and they go to Nick's family's house, and I'm like, oh, she gonna meet the family, but no, that is where Nick lives, okay? He says that since he was on the road during this football journey, it didn't make sense for him to move out and pay rent when he was hardly home. Valid. But it has been a few years since he's been playing football, okay? Times are tough right now, so I get it. But I would want Nick to be a bit more upfront on his finances, and we're gonna get into that later. Because if I was Hannah, I would be asking him, okay, is it that you don't want to move out, or is it that you can't afford to move out? Those are two very different things, and I think that that is important for Hannah to know.
I love my parents, I love my space, so it's good with me. If you want to, think it's embarrassing, that's fine. I don't.
So Nick says that his mom cooks for him, and I'm just gonna assume that she also does his laundry and everything else. Nick also says that his dad is the one who primarily takes care of the cat, because he said he ain't waking up early to feed no cat. Where they do that at? Nick said, I'm asleep. I'm in bed. Which brings me back to the previous conversation that Hannah and Nick had. Because even though we get into it a bit later, this scene alone, knowing that Nick lived at home with his parents and his mom does things for him, I was like, oh, Hannah is definitely gonna have to remind him to take out the trash and do the laundry because he's gotten so accustomed to his mommy doing everything for him.
I don't know, I have a feeling your mom cleaned it before I got here.
Nah, she didn't clean this space. I cleaned it before I left. And this is Buffy. This is my first stuffed animal. This is Buffy.
Okay.
So we see Nick suggest that Hannah move in with him after the wedding, and she's like, no. Sir, why would you suggest someone move into your parents' house? Why are you even on this? Okay. Let me back it up. Beep, beep, beep. Let me back it up because I'm getting ahead of myself. Nick just offered to move Hannah into his parents' place. That's not what he wanted to do. You think Nick wanted to stay in his parents' place? No, Nick does not want to stay in his parents' basement. He's looking to move out of his mom's house into another woman's house, okay? So next we see Ramses meet Marissa's friends, and they're telling the friends that everything is great between them, and they've talked about everything. And they said the military conversation that they had the previous night is the first time that they've ever bumped heads.
Your politics is like tied to your ethics, and like that's something that is like opposed to like who I am. I don't view politics and those type of things as like something that exists in a vacuum. Like just these ideas, like they affect real people.
I agree with Ramses on that 1000%. So Marissa's friends are giving Ramses a side eye because her friends are also military, but Ramses, being born born in Venezuela, says that he will always stand for the people who were under U.S. imperialism. So he says it's very hard for him to see himself with someone who is actively in the military. I know he says actively, but I honestly think that Ramses has an issue with Marissa being in the military, period, and that she is proud of her service, okay? Picture this. If Ramses and Marissa stay together, move in together, and Marissa has her uniform, and she might have medals and badges and photos, right, with her in her uniform, is she not going to be able to put those up around the house and be proud of her service? I am sure that that would still be a huge issue for Ramses, even though Marissa is no longer active. And we see her friends make a great point about the difference in their beliefs affecting their kids. Marissa said that she'd support their kid if they want to go to the military, and Ramses says that they would ultimately be allowed to make that decision on their own. So at least they have that in common. Marissa said that in the past, she has partnered with men who she didn't really align with, but she says that this time it's different. And I'm like, is it though? Is it? So now it's only 18 days until the wedding, and we see Alex prepping Tim to meet her dad. She's telling him how they're going to explain the experiment to him and that they're living together now, the whole shebang, okay? And you can tell that she is very nervous for this meeting. Then we see her going to prep her family for when Tim comes in, because he's outside on the grill making steaks and chicken wings. But child, when I tell you, this clip had me cracking up.
How do you feel, Dad?
What?
About meeting Tim?
Do I have any choice?
Love you. Love you. Dad, for real, like, stop.
So as Alex said in the pods, her parents are divorced, but at least they were able to come together and be in the same room for the sake of their daughter, which is really sweet. We see Alex talking Tim up and telling her family how great the two of them are for each other. And then we see Tim come in, he greets everyone, and he gives, you know, his little 15-second elevator pitch. Where he's from, where he went to school, his military career, his government consulting job, all that. Tim lets them know that they bonded over family. And I'm like, did y'all really bond over family, or did you just like trauma dump on her? I'm gonna save that because this scene is really cute. So I'm gonna keep it cute, okay? We find out that Alex is the older sister of two younger brothers, and Tim lets them know that he is the younger brother of two older sisters. Alex's mom then asks the two of them if they've ever been in an argument, and they're like, yep.
You know I talk a lot.
When she is saying something, I have to learn to just receive it, because learning each other.
And you're committed to learning.
Yes.
And this is the part of the meeting where Tim shined and really won over Alex's family. You can even see Alex's dad's expression soften a bit, which was really nice.
How long did you stay in the Navy?
Almost 8 years. Say joining was the best decision of my life, and getting out was the second best. I'm a big golfer, so that's like,
Oh my God.
yeah, Scotland is.
Yeah, St. Andrews.
Yes, sir. Yes, I was born in England, too.
Oh, really?
So
Yeah,
is he.
yeah.
When I tell you this man is happy, he's smiling, he's rubbing his hands together like, all right. But y'all, why did I get so nervous when Tim asked to speak to Alex's dad in private? I had to hit pause. I don't know why I was so nervous. So Tim reads the letter that he had read to Alex in the pods, which was written for Alex's dad.
You raised a kind, intelligent, driven, and resilient daughter. I want to promise to you that I will treat her with the ultimate amount of respect and love in my heart.
My baby girl?
Yes, sir.
We just met, but I believe in you. I believe that came from your heart. I accept you as my son. You have a blessing.
That means a lot.
Now, y'all already know that I have some reservations about Tim and Alex as a couple, but baby, when Alex's dad started crying, I lost it. I lost it. Listen, a good father wants nothing more than to know that his daughter is in good hands. And then when Alex came back in and her dad hugged her and he was calling Tim his son, oh my gosh. This might be one of the best meetups that I've ever seen. I don't think I've ever gotten this emotional over a meetup. It was just so beautiful. I loved every second of it. So next we go to Taylor's place. She has the basement portion of her friend's home. Her and Garrett speak about their living situation, and Garrett says that Taylor should move with him to Fredericksburg. And Taylor's like, oh no, I want to live in San Diego. And I'm like, DC got a San Diego? I know she's not talking about San Diego, California. But Garrett says that he would definitely move for Taylor. He says that he loves her that much. The only reservation he has is that his family won't be too happy about it. And child, I can already see Garrett's mom like, this girl came into my house, sold me a dream, and then took my son. But Taylor does say that when they were in the pods and they discussed this, Garrett made it seem like he was more than ready to move yesterday. Okay, so she's a bit taken aback at his hesitation now. But she also makes sure to let him know that her job will bring her back to DC so they can always spend time with the family. She wants to raise the kids in San Diego, okay? And Garrett doesn't have a problem with that, but he also just wants to make sure that their children will be able to have a full relationship with his parents as well and not just see them on holidays.
I just want my kids to also have that like loving grandparent relationship, and not just like once a year, here comes Christmas, like here's grandma, grandpa, and they're like, who are these people? Like, I don't want that for them.
No.
And I'm feeling much better about it for sure. Like, after sitting on it, I can definitely say that like I'm not only willing to, like I'm excited about it.
You're gonna like it.
So, child, now we get this scene with Steven and Monica, and he's telling her that he doesn't have a job anymore because when he went on the show, they didn't hold a job for him. I don't think Steven had a job, but he tells Monica that it's only going to take him about 1.5 weeks to find a job. Monica's like, no problem. I'll be your baby mama. I'll be your sugar mama. Monica, you a damn lie. You a damn lie. You were just asking this man for why he's selling Gucci. How he gonna get you that with no job, sis? Then they start discussing sex, or should I say the recent lack thereof.
I'm a man. Wind blows in the right direction and I'm like, fuck.
You're into butt stuff.
Like pegging?
Saving my butt for my husband.
That's fair. There's so many different things you could put your inside. Giving birth is the only time a woman comes close to understanding what it's like when a man has a common cold.
Are you well?
When I tell you my dog must have understood every single word that Steven said in this scene, because the way she woke up out of her sleep and looked up at me like, girl, what the hell are you watching? So let me say this, Monica girl, I owe you an apology, because in my review, I think it was of episodes 5 and 6, I didn't like how you spoke to Steven. I didn't like how you cut him off. But baby, if this is the shit he be talking, I would have told him to shut the up. Because what the hell does this man be talking about? Monica says that she needs to feel safe in this relationship in order to sleep with him again. And he's like, yeah, of course. So what about anal? Monica is 1000% right when she says, look, I'm not going to continue to sleep with you if you're telling me that you're having reservations about us getting married. Then what are we doing? The cookie box is closed. So next we see Hannah at home, and she's cleaning and she's sweeping, and Nick comes in and he's like, oh, this feels a lot more like home now. And Hannah's like, why? Because I clean. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, this must remind him of when he come home and his mommy be cleaning up his dirty ass room. And from the clip back at Nick's parents' house, like I said, I knew that Nick was going to be a problem.
That I have to talk to and connect with my lenders
Will you take this
at
out,
some point.
please?
Yep. I've taken the trash out.
Oh, you're taking trash out now, because I asked Nick.
So I owe Hannah Banna an apology as well, because at this point, Nick is proving her right in the sense that she does have to tell him to do all of the household things. Remember the good game that Nick was speaking in the previous episode? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. You don't got to tell me this. Yes, she does. And child, the way I cackled when I saw Hannah with that dry erase board and marker, she was like, okay, we about to make a chore list for your dirty ass, all right? I mean, she didn't say exactly that, but that's what I heard her say in my head.
Like, how often do you, vacuum and sweep?
Like once every 2 weeks.
You vacuum once every 2 weeks, Nick? I dust once a week. I wash my sheets. I do laundry. I didn't catch up on. I clean out my fridge.
And while Hannah is listing the chores, you can see Nick damn near melting in his seat, okay? She's talking about how much money she spends on groceries. I think she said like $300. I don't know if she said a week or a month. I don't know what she said. But Nick is like, I don't think groceries cost that much. I am inclined to believe that Nick has not been to the grocery store in a long ass time because his parents buy the groceries and bring them home. I am inclined to believe that at this point. Hannah speaks about finances, joining bank accounts, and Nick is like, oh, we can just play it by ear. No, the hell we cannot. This conversation reminded me of the conversation between Stacy and Izzy. Remember where he ended up crying in the closet because he didn't want to tell her about his horrible credit? I was waiting for Nick to start crying in this scene, honestly.
We'll split all utilities. We'll split rent.
Yep.
I think I'm financially more literate than you are.
Okay. What would be the benefit of joining?
That you're paying your own bills. Phone bill. Your parents pay your phone bill. What's your plan with that?
As long as they want to pay for my phone bill.
I pay my health insurance. I pay my car insurance. Then I contribute to my 401k.
Yeah.
Then I contribute to my stocks.
I could give a about stocks.
I can teach you.
Do you know about sports?
No, but
Okay,
money, sports,
we'll see about that.
Now, I'm going to give Hannah her props for this conversation. It definitely showed boss. It definitely showed maturity and responsibility. The only thing I'm going to critique her on is that she was speaking in a very condescending tone. She could have approached it better, but I can understand the irritation. As for Nick, it is clear that even at the age of 28, he is still in little boy mode, and I guarantee that eventually Nick will see every single thing that Hannah asks him to do as nagging when they are just basic adult things that need to be done. And he is going to resent her for it. And he's also going to say, you know that I was living with my parents and I ain't paying no bills. I'm not used to this. Now, I totally understand that there are people who still live at home with their parents because they're on hard times, but they still try to contribute, right? They'll buy groceries, they'll pay a bill, they'll clean. And if they're not able to do that because times are that hard, usually they feel bad about it. But from this scene, it is apparent that Nick does nothing to contribute to his parents' household at all. Hannah said he didn't even know he had a car note because his parents were paying his car note. He don't pay no cell phone bill. He don't pay no rent. He don't buy groceries. Nothing. And he also has no desire to help pay for anything because when Hannah asked him about the cell phone, he's like, well, I might start paying my own cell phone bill in 1 year, 2 years, but shoot, if they want to pay my cell phone bill forever, they can do that. Nick, it's time to grow up. Nick seems like one of those failure to launch kids who end up draining their parents' retirement because they're taking care of a grown-ass kid. If I was Hannah, this conversation would have me running for the hills. Now, don't get me wrong. Nick has every right to put his sneakers on and run for the hills too, because Hannah... But Hannah, if you move forward with Nick, knowing what you know now, I don't want to hear any complaints. He's telling you straight up what it is. And it seems to me that Nick is just looking for a mommy that he can sleep with. But he damn sure ain't looking to be anyone's husband. Next, we see Tyler meet Ashley's dad. He's very inviting and he gives Tyler a warm welcome. And I was all smiles until he said this.
That's the total package.
Yes.
Strong, ride or die.
Yeah, genuine.
She's ride or die. She's gonna ride. She's not gonna quit on you.
Nah.
Pops, I like you, but we ain't doing that no more. It's 2024. We ain't doing that no more. If someone deserves to get left, they're gonna get left, okay? And we see Ashley's dad ask Tyler, how is he going to protect his daughter? And he says, I will never lie to her. I will never cheat on her. I will take care of all of her emotions. And I'm like, okay. So we find out that Ashley's dad wants grandkids and he asks Tyler how he feels about having kids. And Tyler's like, oh, I want a big old family. And I'm like, yeah, and you already started. But Ashley says that Tyler makes her feel safe and Tyler is such a gentleman and he opens all the doors for her and he loves her in a way that no man ever has. So we see the men talk one-on-one. Tyler asks for Ashley's dad's blessing and he gives it to him. He says, absolutely. Ashley comes back. Her dad starts tearing up. So you know me.
Yeah, give me a second. I'm sorry.
Yeah, take your time.
Yeah, I got my blessing, but this is my only daughter.
Yeah.
Don't play.
Nah, I'm gonna take care of her.
Woo! When he said don't play, you see that don't play with that finger? I hope he's serious because Tyler, he might have to handle Tyler. Child, now we get to the scene that y'all really wanted me to see, okay? And it starts off super dramatic. I already knew something was about to pop off from the music they was playing. It was like, dun, 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 dun. I'm like, oh shit, what's about to happen? So we see Monica, she's crying. Taylor is there comforting her.
I just cannot believe it. I find it really weird in Mexico. He said to me, you know, in a year when like a bunch of women are like in my DMs wanting to suck my dick, and I was like, why would you say that?
It's disgusting.
It's really unbelievable. I'm just so sorry.
And they're talking about Steven, and I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? And then I see Steven walk by in the background. I'm like, he's home? I thought he was gone. He is home.
You were gonna like, what, shake my dad's hand this weekend? While you were planning on cheating? Like, I don't, you were like laying in a sleep test bed, texting a girl while you are engaged that you want to do dirty kink fetishes and coming in, like, it was disgusting.
You're right.
You were doing it today, Steven. You texted her today.
And all Steven is saying is, you're right. You're right. And now we know that all the times that he said that in the past, because we've seen him say that so many times, he was full of shit.
I will live with this. I truly am sorry. I shouldn't have come on the show.
Before you leave, I would like you to Venmo me the money you owe me for me carrying your weight the last couple days.
There we go.
Taking that away from me?
Yeah, don't. I definitely don't.
When I tell you I was so proud of Monica for asking for her money back in the moment, she's like, oh, I'm not going to chase you down after this. Send me my blood clot money now. Thank you. So apparently when Steven was supposed to be on his phone filling out job applications, right? He was on his phone sending kinky text messages with the intent to cheat. Monica is absolutely disgusted, as she should be. And Steven didn't protest anything, so I believe every single thing that came out of Monica's mouth. Steven, I'm so happy that I only put you under my wing for like 5 minutes in my last review and I plucked your ass out in the same review because oh, you got me messed up. And this situation reminds me of when Steven and Monica had that conversation where Steven was so forthcoming and he said that he cheated on his ex, right? When he was sending DMs to another woman with the intent to cheat. And Monica was like, oh no, don't be so hard on yourself. Remember in my review when I was like, let him be hard on himself. He deserves that. And clearly he did. And the reason why I believe he told Monica that story was to disarm her and make her feel like he is someone who can be trusted when clearly he is not. Watch Steven end up doing adult film. I wouldn't be surprised. It's clear that he came on this show for clout. He didn't come on this show for love. Even in the last episode, he was talking about women throwing themselves at him and wanting to have sex with him just because he was on Love is Blind. Like I said, that sounded like a hope and a wish. That's what he wanted all along. He didn't come on here to get married. He just came on here to make it far enough to get some type of notoriety. And now you're going to be known for the worst thing possible. Monica girl, I know I gave you a hard time. I know I did. And I still think that you are rude, condescending, self-centered, all of those things. Oh, baby, that hasn't changed. But I see you crying right now. And I just want you to know, this is a blessing in disguise. You ain't missing out on anything. I know that Monica's really upset because throughout the season, she's been saying she's 36 years old and she's been waiting for someone. She's been waiting for love. She wants to be married. So she's upset about this. But girl, this is a blessing in disguise. Rejection is usually always protection. You don't know what this man gets into. And clearly he gets into a lot of stuff. I ain't kink shaming, but he is a liar. And I actually think that you are very lucky to have found this out. When you think about the grand scheme of things, this situation is only a couple of months. Some people don't find things out like this after years and years of being with someone. Monica, you are lucky. Girl, losing Steven ain't no loss. First of all, he don't even have a job. Let's start there. You had to beg him for flowers. And then, like I said before, I 1000% believe that production set that up. Steven did not think of that on his own. Okay. Then on top of that, he's sending kinky text messages to someone else, didn't come home the night before. Hello. And you had to pay for him to live for the past couple of days. Girl, cut your losses and move on with your life. But child, that was the end of episode 8. Tell me all of your thoughts. Leave those comments down below. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all, we hit 27,000 subscribers. We did it! Thank you so much. The next goal is 30K. I'm sure we can make it there. I appreciate all of you so, so much. And I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Bye!
Roxy says we're gonna talk about